guys, it's Joshua Reviews. Here we are again, talking about another Krampus movie. I'm just going to cut straight to the chase because this... Krampus the Reckoning. I don't know why, but I was actually kind of looking forward to watching this one. For some strange reason. I don't know why. This was the one that I was just like, yeah. Krampus the Reckoning. Made by the same guy who did Krampus Unleashed, which I thought was the most out of the bunch. But honestly, I know I said these two were probably the worst Krampus movies. This one was very close. This one's very close. That being said, before I rip this film to shreds, I want to talk about something that I decided to indulge myself in. So this actually has, in the special features section, a making of video. And I decided to watch that because I'm an inspiring filmmaker. I want to be a director. And I even have made some short films myself. And I wanted to see what went behind the scenes. I said beyond, I want to see what went behind the scenes. And you know what? Behind the scenes video was actually probably the best thing of this movie. I loved seeing the actors and even the director get involved with their project. I mean, whatever I may say about this movie, I can say with confidence that these people at least were passionate about what they were making, unlike the people who made these two. But with this movie, it felt like they had a story, they stuck to it, and they all had a good time on set. There was even a funny bit where they were like, hey, we need to have this guy play the stunt. We need the stuntman to come in for a fire effect. And they showed the corpse in the movie narrating about his experience on set. It was pretty funny. And I think that I enjoyed watching that more than I did the movie, which is sad because it got me excited. I was like, yes, people who are passionate about filmmaking. I want to see what they have to say. And it seemed like the director was very passionate about Krampus. And I was like, yes, this is going to be fun. And no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. So, let's talk about the things I like. Okay. Krampus Unleashed. Didn't care for it. It was the most but this movie, I think this movie has one strength that I think all the other films didn't, and that was it actually had a pretty compelling story. At least it started with that way. It started with a compelling story, but then it went down in the shitter. But the first 10, 20 minutes, I was actually fully invested. I was like, you know what? I'm sold. I want to see where this goes. It's basically about this strange little girl, Zoe, who has a not-so-imaginary friend, the Krampus. Not Krampus, the Krampus. And her foster parents are juicing it, as the real rejects put it. And while they're juicing it, she gets locked in her bedroom. And she has this creepy little Krampus doll and these voodoo puppets that there are these chains around the Krampus puppet's arms or whatever, or doll or whatever, and she takes the chains off, and then Krampus is unleashed. Wait, this movie's called Krampus the Reckoning. Don't you think it should have been called Krampus Unleashed? Anyway, so Krampus kills the foster parents. And, this Krampus, he looks pretty shit. The CGI is not good, but the kills are actually somewhat decent. If there's one thing I can say about this director, he knows how to give the audience some entertaining kills. And there are some decent, bloody, graphic kills in here. And one thing I will say that I did like about this movie is that all the kills are motivated. I like it when a horror movie's... Because sometimes you're watching, like, maybe a slasher, and all the kills are just there for, numbers on the kill count. Hey, didn't he? Anyways, so... But... most slashers and horror movies will just kind of throw kills again for just add numbers to the body count. No reason. This movie, the kills were motivated. Every character that dies in this movie had a reason to be killed. not condoning, murder and death, but I'm just saying that in the movie's case, the kills were motivated. And I like that. I appreciate that. It kind of made the story work a little better for me. Because after the foster parents are killed and she gets found by the police and she's locked in this room, no way of getting out. The police are like, she survived. What happened? The victims of Krampus in this movie are burned to death. They're not snatched in a Santa sack or whatever, or a red sack bag. I don't know what's Krampus bag called. It's he doesn't use a bag. He uses like it's not a net. What is it? Anyways, I don't know why I'm trying to figure that out now. But anyways, so Krampus in this movie, again, none of these movies uses Krampus's mythos. They just completely make up their own, which is interesting to me because the director in the behind the scenes video said that Krampus's origins and mythos hasn't been very well explained. I call bullshit, but okay. So Krampus burns his victims in this movie, and Zoe is the only survivor, and the psychiatrist interviews her and tries to figure out what's going on. And later down the road, she finds out that this little girl might be more than meets the eye. And she might actually be connected to this little girl somehow, because we see flashbacks to these two girls. And while the movie tries to build it up like it's a big mystery, it's pretty fucking obvious, if you're paying attention, that these two characters are sisters. Oops, spoiler, did I spoil the movie? I don't care. You're not going to watch this movie. At least I pray to God you don't, because So anyways, listen, everything I just said, first 10, 20 minutes I was invested. After that, falls into the same fucking issues I have with all the other Krampus movies. It's boring. It's boring, and this one is probably the worst contender because this movie, it drags. There are characters that will literally just go into monologues, and I don't care. There's interesting ideas in this film that make it more disappointing than anything. Do I think it's the worst movie ever made? No. But it really feels like it felt like too many cooks in the kitchen. And like, there are interesting ideas, like the twist at the end, which I'm going to spoil. So if you guys don't want to see or hear a spoiler for this movie, which I don't know why you would want to keep a spoiler away, but I'm going to spoil it. So I would just click off the review because I'm gonna tear the ending to shreds. So it's revealed that the psychiatrist that's talking to this girl Zoe, who anytime she meets someone bad, she unleashes Krampus and kills them. There's like 5 people she kills, or is it 5? It's like 4, I think. I don't know, 4 people. One guy is he's a nurse who likes child pornography. That's great. And he gets burned alive. There's one guy at a bar who's like a total prick, though we never see him interact with Zoe. So why, if he never interacted with her, why is Krampus coming after him? That makes no sense. It's never done on screen. It made no sense. And then later, Zoe is like, Krampus is going to come for you, for the psychiatrist or whatever. And at the end, it's revealed the psychiatrist has a son, or a foster son, I don't know, adoptive son, I don't know. And they crash their car because they think they see Krampus or the girl, and it's revealed, oh my gosh, they're sisters, woo! And then, in a strange turn of events, the psychiatrist, when she was younger, was obsessed with Krampus so much that she did a ritual. She was somehow linked to Krampus, and somehow accidentally killed her sister Zoe. Zoe somehow years later got reincarnated as this ghost girl, and people could see her, and she would send Krampus to kill other people, which doesn't make sense, because if the psychiatrist chick is the one Krampus is linked to, why is Zoe the one doing the killings? And if her intent was to get revenge on her sister for killing her, why did she wait 20 years to do so? And why is she killing random people in the process? Makes no fucking sense, and it kind of ruined any goodwill this story or movie may have had, but it was bad. And then there's a scene where Krampus is showing to be having sex with the psychiatrist. I'm not joking. she's having sex with her boyfriend, ex-husband or whatever, and then it cuts to Krampus being the one juicing it with her, and then he rips her heart out, and it's a dream, and ooh. And then the movie just kind of ends. Movie just kind of ends with Krampus killing our main character, and nothing is really well explained. It's done in terrible exposition, and I had to watch a review to piece it all together because while I got the main gist, I was like, wait a minute, did I miss something? Why is Zoe this ghost girl? Why did her sister kill her? Was it an accident? Was it intentional? This movie just leaves you with unanswered questions, but this is all like in the last 10 minutes of the movie. The rest of the movie is just boring. It's a boring slog. I would say first 10, 20 minutes are interesting. The middle part, which is like 40, 50 minutes in, there's some interesting ideas that don't get fully developed. And then the ending is, what? And that's where the movie ends. Yeah, this movie's not good. I'm that is a fucking trash. That's a trash. This movie's trash. There's a trash truck or whatever. I don't even know if you guys heard it. This movie's getting a fucking F. Yeah. I was going to give it a D- and be generous, but the more I thought about it, yeah. Actually, you know what? I'm going to give it an F. It's going to get an F. I feel bad for shitting on it because I can tell the people working on it had fun, but no matter their intention, what matters is the final product. Anyways, so we're done with that, thank God. The next review is going to be Krampus Origins. Yay!